There was a note inside the magnifying glass handle. Jung Ha-jun stopped. His father's old magnifying glass. A metal-rimmed lens. The rim rusted. The glass scratched in several places. The handle worn smooth. He had found it in the innermost drawer of his father's desk. He picked it up. It had some weight. The glass was thick. He turned the handle over in his hands. The end of the handle had a small cap. He tried twisting it. It opened. Inside, a thin piece of paper rolled tightly. He eased it out and unrolled it. His father's handwriting, pressed firmly with a pen. Old but readable. This magnifying glass belongs to Ryu Jae-won. This happened 20 years ago. I could not return it. Find him. He was from the village beyond the northern pass. I don't know if he is still there. This magnifying glass needs to reach this person. A name Ha-jun had never once heard. Ryu Jae-won. Not from his father. Not in 26 years of living together. He had noted something in particular. Not I should return this. Not go give it back. His father had written this needs to reach this person. Needs to reach. That was the word. His father had died 66 days ago. Before dawn, he had come out of his room to find him on the floor. Heart failure. His heart had been weak for years. The evening before had given nothing away. Dinner, television, the usual cough, bed. Nothing more. The funeral had passed. His sister came from another village and left after 3 days. Ha-jun remained alone. His mother had died when he was 12. After that, he and his father had lived together in this house. For 26 years, now only Ha-jun remained. He had not moved a single thing from his father's room. Not the cushion, not the teacup, not the slippers. For more than 2 months he had put off sorting. Today he had finally made himself go in. The desk, drawer by drawer, the innermost, the magnifying glass. His father had been a quiet man. Not warm, but not frightening. Simply still. He swept the yard. He walked briefly in the alley and came back. He set dinner on the table each evening. They ate and watched television and said very little. For 26 years, Ha-jun had never once asked what his father was thinking. His father had never offered. That was how this house had worked. And this magnifying glass had been in that drawer the whole time. For 20 years, belonging to someone else, with a note that said needs to reach. The next morning he went to find the oldest resident of the village. A man named Pak Hung-jun, close to 80, who had known his father since they were young. He showed him the magnifying glass and the note. He said the name Ryu Jae-won, village beyond the northern pass. The old man looked at the magnifying glass. He read the note. He was quiet for a moment. Then he said, Ryu Jae-won. I know that name. He worked near your father when your father was young. He was from the village beyond the northern pass. A man who loved books. Never without a book in his hand. But his eyesight was poor. Without this kind of glass he could not read. One day he lost his magnifying glass. He was very troubled by it. I don't know what happened after that. Your father never mentioned any of this. I don't know where he is now. Through inquiries over the following days, a name and number were found. An elderly man named Ryu Jae-won was living in the village beyond the northern pass. In his late 70s, the name matched. He called. An old man answered, slow and thin. Ha-jun said, my name is Jung Ha-jun. I am the son of Jung Man-sik. My father died 66 days ago. I found a magnifying glass while sorting through his belongings. Inside the handle, a note in my father's handwriting. It said this magnifying glass belongs to Ryu Jae-won. The line went quiet for a long time. Then the old man said Man-sik has gone. Something in the voice, old and quiet, and after a pause, he said Man-sik kept it. For 20 years. Will you come? Ha-jun said tomorrow. The next morning he took the early bus with the magnifying glass. In his coat pocket, 2 hours including the pass. A village on the other side he had never visited. The air a touch cooler than what he was used to. But April, spring fully here. Leaves thick and green. Small village. Quiet station. He walked the alley. Gray walls. Spring wind. Leaves rustling. He found the house. Flower pots in the yard. And under the eave, a small table with a book lying open on it. Someone had been reading outside. He knocked. Slow light footsteps. The door opened. An old man in his late 70s. Slightly stooped. Nearly all white hair. Many lines on his face. Narrow deep eyes behind thick glasses. A worn cardigan. A book in one hand. Reading when he came to the door. He looked at Ha-jun through his thick lenses. For a long time. Then he said, "You have man 6 eyes." Ha-jun could not answer. They sat across a worn wooden table. Books everywhere. On shelves. On the table. On the floor in stacks. This was how this man lived. The old man sat with his book set carefully aside. Ha-jun placed the magnifying glass on the table. Then the note. The old man picked up the magnifying glass. He stopped. He held it in his open palm without moving. He ran his fingers slowly over the rusted rim, the scratched glass, the worn handle. He looked at it for a long time. His eyes changed. Something old moved in them. He picked up the note and read it. "This magnifying glass needs to reach this person." He stopped at that sentence. He read it again. He set the note down. He exhaled, long and slow. He said, "This has been here for 20 years. Ha-jun said, "Inside the handle. In his desk drawer." He said nothing about it in 26 years of living together. "Today was the first time I knew." The old man set the magnifying glass on the table. He looked out the window briefly. Then he began. 20 years ago I was working near your father's village for a time. I read constantly. Always have. My eyesight has been poor my whole life. Without a magnifying glass the characters blur together and I cannot read. It is not just inconvenience. It is like the world going dark. Reading is the only way I move through the world properly. When I lost this magnifying glass back then I was in real difficulty. I searched for it. I couldn't find it. I eventually found another. But losing the original stayed with me." Ha-jun said, "My father kept it for 20 years. He could not return it. But he could not throw it away either. And what he wrote was not I should return this. He wrote this needs to reach this person. Not return. Reach. That was the difference." The old man looked at the note again. "This magnifying glass needs to reach this person." He read it quietly. Then he said, "Reach." Yes, he knew. Without this kind of glass there is no reading. He understood what it meant for this to be missing from someone's hands. Ha-jun said, "I will say what my father could not say." He kept this because he knew it mattered. Not because it was valuable. Because you needed it. That was why he wrote reach instead of return. That was his way of knowing you. The old man looked at Ha-jun for a long time. Something old and deep moved through his eyes. Then he picked up the magnifying glass. He removed his thick glasses. He held the magnifying glass up to the note on the table and read it through it. For the first time in 20 years, reading through this glass. "This magnifying glass needs to reach this person." He read that line. He set the glass down. His eyes were wet at the inner corners. He did not let it fall. He said, "Thank you, and thank your father." He used the right word. Would you have understood right away why your father wrote reach instead of return? Or would you have needed to meet the person to understand the difference? The two men sat without speaking. The magnifying glass on the table. Books all around. Spring wind from outside. April, fully arrived. Not a drop of winter left anywhere. The old man said, "I will keep this. It belongs with me. And you brought it over the pass today. That is enough." Ha-jun came home after dark. He went to his father's desk. He opened the innermost drawer. The place where the magnifying glass had been. He placed the note back there. His father's words. In his father's place. The magnifying glass was gone. But the note remained. "This magnifying glass needs to reach this person." It had reached. The note could stay. His father had been a quiet man. But not a man without understanding. He had known that some things do not merely need to be returned. They need to reach. He had kept a magnifying glass for 20 years, because he understood what it meant for a man who could not read without one. And he had written that word deliberately. Reach, not return. His son had learned that difference today. Perhaps too late, but today was enough. What is held with care is not always held for the same reason. Sometimes reach and return are the same word. Sometimes they are not. And sometimes a father writes reach in a note rolled inside a handle, and waits 20 years for someone to understand why. If this story stayed with you, the next one begins here too.